This is the Ridiculously Amazing Insurance Agent Podcast, hosted by me, Kelly Donahue-Piro. This show is for growing insurance agencies looking to maximize their biggest investment, their people. Listen to the top agency performance partners clients share their story on how they boosted their performance by executing a plan. Let's head to the show. Hey everyone, it's Kelly Donahue-Piro here, wrapping up another 3-minute video week, one of the last ones of the year, if you can believe that. Yes, we're in December. And this one is just one that, keeps popping its head up, which is why can't account managers and producers get along? And there's so many reasons for this. We actually did a whole ebook on this a few years ago. But one of the biggest reasons that people don't get along is actually just kind of perspective and point of view. And can we put each other in each other's shoes? And that's something that tends to be missing. So we want to break down 4 strategies if you're feeling this tension in your agency that you can work on today. And you get me, you get the mayor, Heath Sharon here weighing in on this as a commercial producer, how he kind of made those inroads, which I think is amazing. So without further ado, we're going to launch into our 4 topics, which is there's friction on how both of them get paid. The 2 different brains, a service brain versus a sales brain, the idea of sales enablement versus sales disablement, and the last one is gratitude and how we show that to the team so that we're grateful for both parties. So I'm going to stop talking and we're going to dive into the intro for the next video. All right, so one of the first reasons why there's conflict on how exactly, account managers and producers work is this idea of pay. So account managers feel like producers make $1 bajillion and producers look at it saying, I need to feed my family. I need to, take care of my wife. I need to go home and tell my wife what I made this month. That's why I need these deals to close. And automatically that causes friction from the idea of how do we make the agency grow? Account managers don't want the instability of not having a standard paycheck, and producers love the idea that they can write their own ticket, but they need help. And so once we understand pay, we can understand how to go ahead and resolve this conflict in the agency. So take a look at our first 3-minute video for the week. Hey everyone, so this week we are diving deep into one of the topics that I think gets juicy, which is why can't account managers and producers get along? Great question, right? And so one of the things I like to think of with this is, there's a whole ecosystem of people out there, and we have to really value everybody's strengths. And what happens is account managers and producers are sort of diametrically opposed. And for so many options, it's because there's a lot on the line, right? For a salesperson, they're getting paid commission and they have sales goals, hopefully. And what ends up happening is, the sales manager comes down on the producer, why aren't you hitting your goals? And it's real easy to pin it over to somebody else, which if you're a sales manager, you should not accept. We should be in a zero excuse environment. And the idea is too, we're also a team, you know what I mean? We are a team, which means we got to have each other's backs. And when that contention starts, it becomes really hard to deal with. But one of the biggest reasons producers and account managers struggle is they get paid wildly differently. So, for example, a producer typically will have a compensation structure that's hopefully heavily weighted on commission, which means that in order to pay the mortgage, go home to his wife or her spouse or whoever it could be, there has to be the idea that, at the end of the day, this is I eat what I kill and I have to go out there and get after it. Now, account managers are typically salary, maybe there's some incentives and bonuses in there. But until you've had to really have your back against the wall and make sure everything's good, it's a tough situation for sure. And that's one of the reasons why I think everybody has to understand and honor how people get paid. I know that a lot of times with account managers, they think it must be nice to be coming here and there, but it's also nice to, be quoting something at 8 o'clock at night because that's when you have the time. Or you're going here and there, excuse me. And then all of a sudden, you've got to go X, Y, Z, or, you don't get to go home at 5 o'clock and just go home with your families, or that's where most account managers live. And so the idea of how people get compensated is big. Now, here's what we know. Account manager personality, what they want to do is keep things stable, right? Like they would never want to be in an environment with variable commissions. And producers don't want to think that they have their back against the wall, like I only make X and check in and check out. They much prefer to have those scenarios. So how do we support it, right? One of the biggest things we got to think about is that everybody's got to be a team. And that's what I said early on, team. An account manager has other competing priorities on their desk. And a lot of times there's not a lot of clarity on what to focus on. So So we really, really suggest and recommend to people that, hey, you talk to the account manager. What do we have? What are we doing? And also that, a big change we try to invoke in our agencies is having people see the pipeline. So for an account manager, say they're quoting something for you, they've got a bind or whatever it might be on new business. If that's what the roles are in your agency, it's good for them to see what's coming down the pike so that they know how to plan their week, not just, I got this, it needs to be done right now. You can see how that causes some speed bumps. So what we're talking about here is lots and lots and lots of communication. And when there's communication, everybody feels loved and supported. When there's no communication, it feels like, I don't know how I'm going to do all this. And that's when resentment hits. So think about how they get paid. Think about if there's a way that, you can tip the help too. I've always said you get more with honey than, with just kind of jamming things on people. A nice bottle of wine can go a long way for people who are helping you. And the same thing, account managers, when a producer comes in, cheer them on. Like, that's awesome. You got a new deal. Okay, let's go through this. Let's see what we have on our desk right now. What do we need to move around? That is a mental mind shift you can make to make everything work better. So that's our 3-minute video today. We'll see you in a few days. This one he's sharing takes, which is just the two different brains that people have, and service brain versus sales brain. Service brain is caring and taking care of people and smooth sailing and not ripples and not going out of our comfort zone. And sales brain is more like, we got to go get after it. We got to do it. I've got to convince these people. This is a competitive marketplace. I've got fierce competition out there. And so our brains tend to work differently from, I want to love and serve this person, and there's 10 people in front of them, to producers like, my client, this is important. We got to get this done now. I need to be impressive. And so we have to identify, how do we make both of those work? Because at the core, they're both the same thing, just different approaches to it. So in this video, Heath explains a little bit of that dynamic.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the Mayor Heath Sharon here. I'm super pumped to be hanging out with you today. I got my Christmas shirt on. It's Christmas time already. It's that time of year, and it is my favorite time of year. So I'm extra jolly today. So, and it's something that we're discussing this week. It's a topic that has been in our industry for a long, long time, and that is, why can't the account managers and the producers get along? I think it comes down to a pretty obvious thing here, and that is, it's two different personalities. Whether you take the Enneagram, the DISC profile, the Omni test, whatever personality exams or whatever you take or you've seen, it's pretty obvious that it's two different skill sets, two different mindsets, it's two different brains that we're talking about here. And I think it's super important to sit down and realize right from Jump Street that one can't exist without the other. And one is not more important than the other. And I think it comes down to valuing one another's different strengths. There's several things that I want to dive into for just a minute briefly in this video. I think it comes down to a very crucial component here that a lot of the times doesn't happen. That's respect. A little RESPECT goes a long way in this relationship. And I think it's missing in so many different account manager-producer relationships. You got to be able to respect each other's space, respect each other's time. I think that's a big part of it. Let's camp here for just a second. To be able to say, okay, account manager to producer or vice versa, say, okay, what's going on today? What's your schedule look like? What's your time looking like today? Can I take something off your plate, or can I help you with this or that? To be able to have that respect and time, I think is a very valuable component there. Also, I think to respect each other's abilities, to be able to recognize strengths there, to say, okay, you're very good at this, or you're very good at explaining this, or you're very good at this or that. To be able to have that respect, and that, I think, goes a long way. And to compliment one another in your strengths is huge. I think another big component there is communication. To be able to sit down with one another each and every day, each and every week, whatever that looks like, to be able to communicate, to say, here's what's going on today, here's what we've got going on here, I'm struggling here, or I've got a win here. To be able to celebrate those victories together, to be able to have that communication, whether it's via email, whether it's via phone call or text messages, whatever that is, through a agency management system or a CRM system, to be able to type in notes, whatever that communication may be. I think that's crucial to have that communication. I also think that lastly, it comes down to transparency in all things that you're doing. That communication, that respect, All of those things are super important. It almost sounds to me like marriage counseling, which you could look at it that way, or a best friend relationship. Any kind of relationship that you got to have those components there. And so I think that's super crucial. So then it comes down to recognizing each other's strengths. I think it comes down to respect. I think it does communication. And you have to be able to sit down and realize you can't have one without the other. You'll have to be able to coexist as a team. I think that the team mentality goes a long way there. And so I really hope that you got something out of this video. I really hope that it helped you. And if it did, I would love for you to share it with somebody. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'd love for you to subscribe there and share this with somebody that you think would get something out of it. I really hope that you have a wonderful holiday season, a wonderful day today, and I really look forward to hanging out with you again next time.
So for many of you, you might have been thinking, oh man, I missed out on that one course. I could have bought it outright. I don't want to subscribe. I totally understand. However, we're giving you an offer this week from December 5th through December 11th. And that is, we are doing a reducing remarketing course at 30% off. You can buy it outright. You own it forever, which means that you have it. You can put your people through it. 30% off. So who needs to help their team reduce remarketing next year? If that's you, buy the course, own it, go at your own pace, 30% off. We also have 25% off our process packs, swag, most swag items, and subscription of our school. So if instead you don't want to just buy the course outright, you can subscribe at 25% off the monthly payment forever and ever and ever as our holiday special to you. So there is no excuse anymore, guys. Your team needs help. We have solutions. Make sure you're going to go ahead and get that course, How to Reduce Remarketing, at 30% off, or everything else at 25% off. And this is this week on that course. The only time we're re-releasing you to buy this course at 30% off is this week. Other than that, you lose, snooze, you lose. We'll see you soon. So one of the things that you'll find in agencies is there's either sales enablement, meaning making it easy to quote, sell and buy new business as a team. And then there's sales disablement, which is, you know what, you didn't put this phone number in the right spot. I can't quote this. And reality-wise, culturally, there needs to be a sales enablement culture as long as there's some standards and guardrails in place, right? We can't have just, here's a napkin, go quote it. And we can't have, this didn't have a period and comma right here. There needs to be a blend, but more towards the sales enablement side, not disablement side. Every employee of an agency needs to understand a growing agency is a better place to be. And that is one of the key reasons we need to create sales enablement. And in this video, we talk all about what that looks like and how to make both parties happy by listening and saying, what are the bare minimum standards we need here? And what are the expectations a producer can have so that you have a great sales culture that grows the agency? All right, so we're diving deep into the juicy topic of why producers and account managers can't get along. And one thing I want to talk a little bit about is what we call sales enablement or sales disenablement. And I really want account managers to listen deep on this one. You have to be thinking about your mindset when it is in regards to producers and how to go ahead and make this flip your mindset, right? A lot of account managers will come and say, oh, the producers need help. They get paid. I'm just sitting here. I've got all this to do. And, why can't they contribute more? Well, the more that a producer can go out and sell, and whether it's helping them on a new business quote or a current customer, the more opportunity that you have. So you have to figure out, are you a roadblock, a speed bump, a boundary on selling something? Do you want to work for an agency that is growing, or do you want to work for an agency that stays the same? And I can tell you, nothing stays the same. It is impossible to think that way. So when a producer brings in a piece of new business, are you championing, cheerleading, high-fiving? That's awesome, let's get to it. Or are you, well, that's probably going to go E&S. Or did you get this? Did you get that? You have to realize that you are not an underwriter. Your role here is to be a team with sales to go ahead and drive the highest results. And when we can drive the highest results, anything is possible. But if we are a roadblock in sales, guess what? That's when all the negativity seeps in. That's when you realize, are you really doing the best for yourself? How is that going to impact raises? How is that going to impact benefits? How is that going to impact just the general culture of the office? And I can tell you it's all negative. So you have to realize that when producers bring in new business, this is exciting and we have to feel that way. We have to get going. Otherwise, all we're going to do is just put up roadblocks to growth of the business. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to be that person. You want to be the person that gets excited. Even if the deal is not the greatest deal you've ever seen, who cares? Let the producer grow, learn, and develop. And also, let's give it our all either way. That client still needs insurance. So I'm going to challenge everybody in there. Think about it this way. Are you in a sales enablement or a sales disenablement mindset? And how can you make that switch this week, this very day, so that you can welcome more new business in, not roll your eyes whenever there's a new quote or a new bind order that comes across the way? And that's my 3-minute tip for you. So gratitude is one of my favorite things to talk about with agencies, because so often, the number one driver of account managers is actually recognition. And when all producers do is come dump work, they don't talk to them, they don't necessarily find out what else is on their plate. There's usually an agency owner that kind of takes priority and precedent because they're the owner. You have to understand that gratitude goes a long way. Giving account managers what they'll need, giving them a bottle of wine when they help you sell a big deal. Those are key factors to the relationship being symbiotic. And gratitude by the account manager staff when new deals come in, not another big account we have to work on. Yes, another big account, which means the agency is growing. But that only works with that recognition and that signs of gratitude. It's not another big account if the producer's like, hey, I couldn't have done this without you. You're amazing. Thank you so much. But when it's like, yeah, another big account, gonna get a fat paycheck, that's when the sale of the service team starts feeling a little squishy about things. So make sure, remember, you always get more bees with honey. We need to appreciate the entirety of the team, both the account managers for the growth coming in from producers and from the producers to the important work that the account managers do. And that's what we dissect in this video.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's the mayor here, Heath Sheeran, and I am excited to be here again today for another segment of the 3-minute videos. I love doing these, and I want you to be proud of yourself for being here today and hanging out with us, because it shows that you want to improve in your craft, and that's super cool. We're all here to improve and to be a better professional, and so proud of you for being here. Pat yourself on the back. Today, we're continuing to talk about why producers and account managers can't get along, and today I want to focus a little bit on the gratitude part of that. As you're a team and you're working together and you're doing things, you're coexisting in that team, whether it's to win an account or to get a project done, I think it's crucial and it's important that you show that gratitude. And, just a small email to say, hey, I noticed that you went above and beyond on this, or I couldn't have got this without you, or thanks for what you do, whether it's something small or just something large in magnitude that person did. I think it goes a long way. I think also, one of the things I like to do is send a little, $5 gift card to Starbucks or to whatever their favorite thing is, or $10 gift card to something, whatever the amount may be, it doesn't matter. But just showing that gratitude, it doesn't be anything huge. Something small is something that'll show that gratitude and to show that person that you're working with every day that's important to you and that you noticed what they did. It goes back to what we've talked about before. The two cannot coexist without one another. The two parties are vital to landing that account or to getting that project done or to doing work together. The account manager is completely and utterly important, as well as the producer. And obviously, to work together and to be a team, it takes that mentality and that team mentality to say, I'm going to pick up the ball where you dropped it, or wherever you need me to, or, I'm going to help you when you need that help. And just to show that person that thanks and that gratitude really will go a long way. I think that as long as you're all willing to roll up your sleeves, so to speak, and to work hard on that and to get that stuff done, I think that that's another way that the two can work together. I remember back in high school, when you work together in a project of two, there's always that one person that does more of the work and the other one's resentful and things like that. I know that happened to me quite a bit. And sometimes, I'll be honest, I was that person that maybe not put in the most effort and still benefited from the great grade. Or I caused my partner not to get a good grade because I didn't pick up. It kind of goes back to a little bit of that. And so I think that it's important in working in an agency that you find that both of you are working hard and both of you are committed to the project. I think not just working together individually, but working together as a team, as a unit, really helps and goes a long way. Whether that's scheduling some time together, just to sit down and say, okay, where are you at on this? I'm here. Can I take something off your plate? Can I help you with something? And having that goal in mind together, like I said, whether it's to win an account or complete a task or get a project done. And I think it's important that you all pull your own weight and to show each other that you're working hard to get it done. It all goes back to just a couple simple things that I wanted to make sure that we highlight on this video, and that's showing that gratitude. I think working together and working hard. And then it always goes back to just recognizing that one can't coexist without the other. I really hope that this video helped you today. And if it did, go down and like it on YouTube or share it with somebody in your office. I really think that that'll go a long way as well in working together as a team. I hope you have a great day today.
All right, well, we hope we give you 4 tips to maybe listen to together as account managers and producers to understand both sides of the coin. None are evil. None are trying to be pains in the butts. They all just have competing priorities, and that's why we need to make sure we all understand what the agency's priority is. When we can understand what the agency's priority is, we can all grow, and there is so much benefit for both parties in growth. There just might be some things we have to wade through to get to the end. So that's our deal for today. We wish you the best. We hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we'll be back with our next strategies and tips for you.